run to round out the season. It's two powerhouses. It's our last quarterfinal of the day. It's map number 1. We're getting underway.
Immortals going to be starting on the defense. Thatcher going to be banned out, which we've seen become more prominent here, especially with the likes of Kaid now on the Rainbow roster. With his Electro Claws able to seal up hatches, and Thatcher does a damn good job of getting rid of those. So we don't want him on the board if we're starting on defense.
Next attacking ban going to be coming out. And that's Evil Geniuses taking away the availability of Capitao. So there's been a lot of discussion already, just through 3 games on social media and other outlets, of this new Capitao change.
He's good.
He's very strong.
You only need one eye, apparently, to be that ridiculous.
Well,
hey, what do you know? That's somebody you want to get rid of if Thatcher's taken off the board, because Kaid can completely seal those hatches, and the only person that can get them open is going to be Maverick. You don't want to lean on that too heavily.
I have to worry about the mute play as well, and the last defender going to be banned out will be Mira. Not a big shock here, but this does leave the availability for both Echo and Maestro yet again in an Oregon game. And that's going to be a little bit worrisome for Immortals. They've proven in the past that they are the team that definitely, out of all the Latin American teams that love to ban Echo, they love to ban Echo the most. And having Echo available, especially with Geo having some experience on Echo on the pass on the defensive side, same thing with Necrox, they can go back and forth on that role. It could cause a lot of headaches for Immortals when they get to their attacking side. But they'll be starting on the defense. Evil Geniuses will be starting on the attack. We got a pretty standard roster here, but the other thing that we do have available is Nomad, something we haven't seen in the last 2 Oregon games.
Yeah, Nomad is a massive choice as soon as Canadian switches off of him. We're going Shields first here. We're going Montang. But Nomad, once again, a big choice for Oregon because there's only one way to rotate from the basement. So you lock down meeting, you really don't have to worry about it. All you hear is that air jab, pop, go off, knock the guy on the floor, make a quick rotate, you got yourself a free kill. Another thing that's very prominent is that Echo play that Flynn was talking about earlier, but we also have his Denial brother. We have Maestro in the ranks as well, and Maestro and Echo, especially put together, is a hell of a concoction.
And we were talking about, we were actually talking about this before we came down here, just about an hour ago while we were watching the FaZe and Lestream game and doing some last-minute prep work. Canadian leading all of North America in opening deaths.
Yikes. That's,
I mean, put a shield in front of him and maybe he won't die first. Smile.
That might be the play, honestly. But again, this is Canadian on land, and we've seen this man on land before. A lot of those stats, well, actually all of those stats that we looked at upstairs were all online. Canadian is a completely different beast, a yelling, hyper hockey playing beast on land. So we'll see if that will rear its ugly head.
Well, you still have MVK bringing the Maverick because of the availability of Mute. With Thatcher banned out, you're still going to have some problems with dealing with that information denial and hatch denial from the Mute jammers, especially with their verticality. So MVK will start by droning out towards Kids by the big window, but there's no roaming presence towards Kids or top floor at all. It's all over towards the tower side and by Attic. A little bit of pressure coming up the main laundry stairs as well, but it appeared to be Bullet, and he'll retreat back into the objective downstairs. You have a 3-man hold downstairs and this 2-man tower hold. Clearly anticipating it. Okay, Geo.
Hi, Geo. Okay.
Maybe your keybinds aren't set up quite right just yet, but there goes a frag grenade, and that'll be sent by the wayside and just wasted, ultimately.
Well, at least you didn't kill yourself. That's a good thing. At least you didn't cook it. That would have been very, very bad. But in a traditional sense of Oregon, there's only 2 ways to take this map. Either you start big tower or you start small tower. You drone across and you pinch towards the center. Some people call it mid, some people call it lobby, but it's all the same. It's the middle of the map. Canadian going to have a staring contest with the likes of Navis as he's staring him down inside of meeting. But it seems to be that Immortals is holding down big tower, so it's going to be the next area that Evil Geniuses needs to conquer.
A lot of pre-fire sent in from NVK towards the back of Attic and towards T2, and that's where M-King, as the Maestro is playing on the back tower stairs. No shots will connect, and honestly, it's Evil Geniuses looking worse for wear in the majority of these engagements. So now Canadian will press down the stairs. He's going to come to blows with the smoke and Mute, the shotgun tandem, and now he's isolated by the Toxic Babe. Goes close quarters, but can't land the melee. He'll be saved from above as PX will fall, and there goes the smoke. Canadian will continue to trudge on forward as the Mute Jammer still stalling out the hatch as NVK continues to work away at it. You've got 2 Nitro cells being ripped out, 1 botched and placed on the ceiling, and a second one inside a laundry in the back pocket of Navis.
And you know Canadian's just got to be laughing at him for that one as it's going to connect to the ceiling, but Cyber will finally find NVK. That will be the Maverick down. Necrox trying to refrag, but nothing's going to come of it. That is the danger, though, of this shielded operator, Montang, as he can apply constant pressure. You really can't do anything about it unless you got something explosive to take care of him. But Necrox and Young looking worse for wear right now, as you said earlier, as they're trying to get this diffuser down.
Finally, that stationary nitrocell placed on the top of the roof will be taken care of, dispatched of by Young, but he's on very low HP. Canadian carrying the diffuser now will make it in behind the laundry bins. We'll have to worry about an Evil Eye spotting him out in a rotation through laundry. Oh no, as he's pulling out a frag grenade. Navi's will rip right through and drop down Geo. Young on the immediate trade though onto Navi's as they try to rush right through onto the plant. Young again, bearing in hand, bullet will fall, and now it's Cyber and M-King last alive. Necrox still holding from inside of laundry as both remaining Immortals defenders try to bust out of meeting. There goes Young on 5 HP, removed out of play, but there goes Necrox as well, removing Cyber on an immediate trade again. It's M-King pushing his way down the laundry hallway. He has a Montang to go up against, and Necrox on low HP. There's not a lot here for M-King to do, unless he can close the gap without being sniped from above by Necrox. He will close the gap up against Canadian, but as long as he stays full shielded, there's nothing really for M-King to do to bash the shield away and then be able to shoot immediately. This would take a tandem of teammates trying to accomplish this goal, and Canadian will unshield. Oh no! Canadian gets the shield bashed out of his hands, but he's running low on time, and now M-King will have to dart into the diffuser. He's completely run out of time. He'll get a fruitless kill in the process, but Evil Geniuses, and M-King knows it, will take the first round.
You gotta give him one thing though. Those mechanics, so good, man. At 180 there to get that last kill, but again, fruitless, as you said. Only thing there is, you know, Canadian giving everybody just a little bit of a scare with that unshielding. I mean, Troy, you really didn't have to do anything. You just had to stand there and look pretty. You still allowed him to kill you, but it's fine. You weren't the opening death this time. Played your way down the stairs, got that diffuser down, and that was the big part. Montang is such a time waste, and especially in those 1vx situations for the defender, Montang is almost unbeatable.
You can see the nitrocells as well that went out from Navi's. It did a little bit of damage to Canadian, but the shield doing a lot of effect in stalling that out and denying any possible lethality with the explosive at range. Young as well playing the bottom of the main stairs. Incredible stalwart at the base of the main stairs, and Young has been one of the best performers for Evil Geniuses on LAN in his entire career. Not surprised to see him pick up the pace here in round number 1. And yes, Canadian getting his shield bashed away by the melee from M-King, but there was no time. And that was really the difference maker on that round, was Canadian was able to waste so much time and draw the ire of so many defenders as that walking mountain, that impervious obstacle that Immortals had to try and overcome, and they really didn't have the utility to do it once PX died. He got caught out very dangerously by the bottom of main stairs. He tried to close the gap on Canadian, but the cover from main stairs satisfactory, and it does the job, and Evil Geniuses just kept rolling from there.
I think that's a perfect round to preface with. Kills don't matter. They don't. If you get that diffuser down, you're able to delay a lot of time, just like Canadian did right there. That's all you have to do. Play the objective. They're more important than those frags. I know we all love them. Navi's loves them. I mean, he's got the 3rd most kills in LATAM. He's got 143 kills for the regular season. He's only second to Nesk and Psycho. Psycho being the best player in the world currently, statistically speaking, through Pro League. So, I mean, definitely no shortage in kills on that team.
Nope, and we're going to see an identical lineup once again coming out from Evil Geniuses as they look to move in through the west side once again to the east side. It's a replication for Immortals downstairs in the basement, as opposed to trying to flip the switch and head to the top side. Canadian on a different entry this time, though, as he's heading in towards the west side with the rest of the team. I'm curious if Evil Geniuses have identified that this is going to be the strat from Immortals, because this is what they would run in Pro League as well, which is this tower hold. You have a 2-tiered system inside of tower, on the tower stairs, up inside of T2, and outside of that, there's not a lot of pressure. You still reinforce meeting to keep it as a beachhead to push through later on, but outside of that, Immortals don't control a lot of meeting until they have to try and retake.
Well, things have switched up quite a bit for Evil Geniuses since acquiring Gotcha as their head coach, so I would go out on a limb and say yes, they know exactly what's going on, because they have had such a turn for the better since picking him up, and that was all the way back in last October. It feels like it was yesterday, you know, getting to see him at USN playing and everything else. Incredible player, incredible coach. He's definitely whipped these Evil Genius boys into shape.
Well, once again, Canadian will come face to face with a shotgun, staring him down the barrel, but obviously he's got the full shield, and now NVK from up above as the Maverick looking down through the bottom of the hatch, unable to spot out the legs of Bullet, who's going to continue to take this engagement. Nitrocell ripped as just a bait, and ooh, Cyber almost gets his head taken off for the troubles as he tries to clear out any of the pressure from the top of Armory Stairs. So here comes Canadian once again, clearing out utility and constantly drawing the ire of those members of Immortals who were stacked up below the hatch. A lot of focus on trying to deny the hatch, and Cyber tries to go for a very, very long jog through Highway Connector, and he'll die to a Claymore on the immediate vault in. So nothing to worry about there for Evil Geniuses in the back. You still have smoke grenades, 2 of them, as a matter of fact, for Canadian. And speaking of smoke grenades, one will repel him further up the stairs. You still have plenty of time here for Evil Geniuses. It looks like it's going to be a replication of the first round.
That is the bad thing about a tower hold, is it all levies on the fact of if the offense wants to deal with you or not. Especially with Oregon, you can just isolate them, set Claymores on both windows, and you go, okay, you either have to come across meeting, or you run across, hop in a window, and meet an explosive end. And that's exactly what's going to happen to Cyber, as Evil Geniuses is the one behind the steering wheel right now, and it doesn't seem like they're going to take their foot off the gas.
Well, time management and pacing here for PX has been great, as Canadian will now try and go in for the plant once again at the base of the stairs. But he's got to move on his Necrox has dropped the hatch. Geo will take down Bullet inside a Laundry. One rotating down the main hall as well. Necrox will chew him to pieces. PX, though, point blank, 2 in a row. Young and Necrox both fall. The plant's still going down now from Canadian, and NVK collects a kill onto M-King. So now PX on 5 HP trying to bust out a Laundry. Full shielding himself at the base of the stairs as Canadian once again being that human meat shield, and shotgun point blank. NVK on the flank from behind. 3 on the round for him, and Evil Geniuses, a convincing back-to-back duo of rounds.
The kills don't have to be flashy, they just have to be there, and NVK collects 3 of them on that round. Looks like basement is going to be, yet again, another very easy thing for Evil Geniuses to handle, and they're looking really good right now. I don't want to call it too early for the EG guys out there, but right now, coming out pretty hot.
It's been a valiant start so far, and yeah, this is the rotate I was talking about, trying to go in through. Trying to go in through Highway.
You poor thing, Cyber. You poor thing.
You tried, honey. You tried. And honestly, for Immortals here, I don't think the basement defense is really working out. Like you said, this tower hold for them is being straight ignored by Evil Geniuses. When it comes down to the site execute, there's been really good pacing. You know, I commented on it as well with PX with his pacing of those smoke canisters. Really well timed. We're talking about more than a minute remaining, and PX had all 3 smoke canisters, but he used his first one at just before the minute mark. Obviously, you can pace that out, but the smokes only last for 10 seconds. So you got to kill 10 seconds with the smoke and kill 10 seconds of your own before you can throw another one and repeat the process. It was good timing there. Just the rest of this team started falling around him, and a beautiful flank from NVK in the back picks up 2 at the end.
I think something especially that is just Oregon in general is the fact that you can completely outright ignore roamers unless they are being highly aggressive. I mean, let's compare play here. Compare Immortals to what Empire was doing earlier in the day on Oregon. Joystick was an absolute madman throughout this entire map, hopping windows, doing everything you could possibly do to find someone to put lead into. And it worked. But Oregon is not a game that you can play passive roam. You have to be aggressive. You have to take those aggressive gunfights. And playing tower is not going to do that for you, because there's only really one safe way across. Because there is no way in hell that you can make it across Highway without getting marked, even with a 3-speed. So it's kind of a bad comparison for Immortals. You know, they have to try and find another way to make this roam game work.
Well, they decided to head upstairs and abandon this tower defense that they've been hard set on the basement defense. So now they'll turn their attention towards the top side, and this will initiate a role change. Canadian from Montaigne to Ash. Not something you see every day, but
that's Canadian, though.
That is Canadian in a nutshell. Very versatile player. Loves to play, again, the carousel of operators that I mentioned in the Dark Zero and Empire game. And again, Cyber playing with fire here on the knife's edge, but he will be able to evade to safety. And same thing with Navi's as he tries to rip back up the white stairs, and he'll make it into safety inside of the objective. NVK almost having a lot of success there with this M4, connecting on multiple targets intended, but couldn't land the shots on either target.
On the coattails, as they say, but Bullet's going to be able to rotate out of kitchen to safety, and that's probably for his best bet, because right now Evil Geniuses is taking over this entire west side of the building. Best bet for Immortals, wasting as much time as possible and trying to keep people alive. That's been their biggest deal so far, is they keep trying to push back against Evil Geniuses' take, but it's been falling apart for them. And unlike Ash fashion, Canadian's still all the way in spawn droning. So, as he will start rotating over towards the building, start doing things with that R4C. Geo's going to start opening up the top of white stairs and establishing some angles over into white bunk.
You got to worry about any pressure coming back down through those kill holes that he's made, as he had 2 stacked inside a generator, one of them being PX with a shotgun. And looks like Gio has figured out his keybinds now, as he's able to cook these frag grenades, but no, it'll detonate prematurely, and it will not connect on a PX who's still playing inside of generator and busting out now. Unfortunate timing for Necrox as he just turned his attention away, but there goes Necrox, the IQ dispatched of, and now you have to worry about the play downstairs, but Cyber taken care of. Bullet and another one now, going for 3! Bullet lands them all, and that's NVK to fall. It's just Canadian and Young left alive for Evil Geniuses.
Bullet so very dangerous on this Legion. Nitro's not going to come out. It's going to connect with Canadian, but it's not going to be lethal. But I can tell you what is. Bullet, that's a 4K. That's going to be on to Young. Can he collect the ace? All he's got to do is breathe on this ash, and Bullet all the way for the first round for Immortals on Oregon.
That's the ace for Bullet. Beautiful play from him on the Legion. I mean, extremely aggressive play to run out the big window. Nonetheless, there was limited time remaining, no diffuser control. Canadian was 5 HP. Even if he died there, who cares? The rest of the round still would have been won for Immortals. So, excellent risk there taken, risk analysis, I guess, for a Bullet. And hey, gives you a nice flashy play in the clip feed, but you're still down around here. And the biggest focus of all for Immortals should be getting the win. And I imagine this is just going to be a straight replay of all of Bullet's kills. We saw the one against Necrox. This is the one we missed against Young. And of course, we witnessed this one as well. Outside of big window, Bullet going huge for Immortals, and suddenly Immortals seem to have life again, as Bullet was playing downstairs for the most part, and they are going to be back downstairs in the basement as their defense, of course, as they're not going to elect to go to tower or kitchen dining. So they got to find a way to make this roam game work, and it seems like Canadian is reading into this. He's not going to go for the Montaigne that has been so effective at wasting so much utility on the side of Immortals. Instead, he's going to go for the Jackal.
Yeah, Jackal very, very good at keeping roam game in check. Having that constant ping on you is not a fun time. So, going to allocate that utility towards the offense, but we're not going to have Montaigne to where we can almost guarantee a plant if they have control of the front lobby. Now, biggest deal here is Immortals going to make an adjustment on this rear tower hold? Because if they don't, I don't really see this round going in their favor. Oh, it is. Yes, they're actually going to be holding down kitchen, and completely across this looks like a more or less of a fallback strategy. So they hold down kitchen. They notice the Evil Geniuses takes from the west side. They're going to allow that to happen, but eventually fall back deeper and deeper, eventually reaching site, but wasting a lot of time in the process.
NVK connects onto M King with the M4, able to drop about 30 HP off of him on the rotate through that nice little peak angle at the bottom of the tower door. So the Maestro will take a little bit of damage, and Necrox doing some work on some basic default electronics. But now, Evil Geniuses, reading the rotation coming out from Immortals, have gone for a rotation of their own, taking into tower the now real estate that has been vacated by the Latin American team. Now you've got them trapped inside a meeting with nowhere to go, condensing upon them from both kitchen and tower.
This is all about smart droning, getting those early drones set up. You already know where the site is. You already know where the site is. Get those drones set up, get that information on where you want to take from, and it'll probably pay out in dividends, as they are going to be focused on big tower once again where nobody is.
So now MVK pushing into the back towers. They've almost cleared out in the entirety of meeting and the main floor. You still got pressure coming in from these Jackal pings from the member downstairs, and MVK, for some reason, is not using the blowtorch to get rid of this Evil Eye. I guess wary of any pressure coming in from the main lobby, or he's waiting for Gio to come get it. Instead, well, he provides the cover, but nonetheless, a lot of utility available, and there goes Evil Geniuses, one of the members anyway. It sounded like Gio taking out one of the Evil Eyes at the availability of M King. After those first 2 bullets rattled off in the beginning from that peak, not a lot has happened. A frag grenade will be sent out now from Gio to collect inside of Harry Potter. There goes Cyber again, the Ella this time, and Cyber just cannot find much success in this game, honestly. And Bullet, the only member who's been doing a whole lot for Immortals, will continue his run of success against Gio, hitting the deck immediately in fear, as now he'll have to back off, prepping the highway window, but he won't engage with that. He needs to retreat to the site as there's only 45 seconds left, and the execute will be coming from Evil Geniuses.
Canadian motioning down rear tower stairs, and he could come up massive here. PX on the other side, shotgun lying in wait. Pre-fire is going to come out, but it's not going to make any connection. PX will throw a smoke grenade at the wall and have it pass through. Now those holes are made. They're gonna be smoking off as Necrox will go down to said smoke. Bullet will lose his life as well. Only 20 seconds left here for the offense to do anything. PX will fall. Canadian sees one, but no bullets will make any connection. Young's gonna find yet another one. He's been doing so well so far. He's gonna catch a couple bullets in the side. Canadian's getting aggressive, but Navi's gonna win it. Young, though, gonna catch a round. That's 3 for him on round number 4.
It's 3 for Young, it's 3 for Evil Geniuses, and the Hibana, again, the fast dead player for Evil Geniuses, the man that has been a top performer on land for the North American powerhouse, continues to perform and show up in big moments. Evil Geniuses now 2/3 of the way through their possible attacking rounds, lest we go overtime, and taking yet again a bit of a commanding lead. This has been a story so far today on Oregon, and that was the peak there from Bullet all the way up by satellite window, but elsewhere inside of Meeting was able to collect a second. This roam defense so far from Immortals is Bullet. Can Bullet connect? Can Bullet evade the drones? Because if not, the rest of Immortals right now are not showing up, and this has been, like I said, the story in every Oregon game so far is the first half turns into a landslide, and neither team so far that's been put at that massive disadvantage has been able to claw it back and push to overtime.
I believe that you would agree with this. A 1.0 KPR, or kills per round, is massive inside of the game of Rainbow6 Siege. Right.
Yeah.
Well, our man Bullet over here is currently at a 2.3 with quick maths. So, when you're averaging 2.3 kills per round and you can't find any more rounds than 1 so far, you gotta look at your teammates and at least try and lean back on site. Your site players have to be doing a little bit better, because right now it's not working out for them. The only round that they've won, once again, is the ace by Bullet.
Well, it comes to the structure and it comes to the rest of the team being able to trade. Right now, and this is an aggressive peek, Navi's will collect as Necrox will fall. The IQ to perish on a spicy garage peek there from Navi's. That's another member from Immortals that really needs to get engaged here for the team, but all of Immortals so far in this game playing very individualistic, not working together as a team. You see Evil Geniuses constantly in perfect range for trades, and they're always getting those trades. They're trading back immediately. Immortals, that's not the case. Everyone's off on their own little mission, and when that mission fails, no one is within range to try and trade that back and facilitate the rest of their intended plan. The good news is, though, for Immortals is that now we've taken out the IQ and we've swapped to an Echo. So Immortals in the basement defense worried more about a site execute as Canadian has gone back to the Montaigne, but this is actually M-King inside of Meeting. That's a precarious spot to be in. We'll see if he can evacuate through the hallway hatch.
Oh, he's not even trying. He's sitting there. He's waiting. Gonna try and get himself a frag possibly, but I don't see this going his way exactly with Montaigne on the field, able to just literally walk at him, and he can do literally nothing. A literal crapload of roamers right now for Immortals. They are absolutely everywhere. It's like spiders right now. We got people in Split, we got people in Kids, we've got people on main stairs. So, Evil Geniuses gonna have the answer to that. They only have half the round left to try and get something going on.
Well, they've got Meeting progress once again. They've got the control, and like you said, very spread out defense right now for Immortals on the defensive side. You've lost your IQ, which is not the most influential, but like I said, those Echo drones could be a massive nuisance later on. NVK still holding for rotates, as it appears that Evil Geniuses are all stacking for the rest of a tower push, as they took a little bit of a detour through Attic towards Armory, but now Young will again pick up the diffuser and head downstairs, and will he be tasked with being able to clutch up with a 3K with the Bearing 9, or will Canadian be pushing through? He's right underneath a Yokai drone. Will it blast him away and move his shield? Oh, he's able to spot it out. There goes one, but as he ADSs for it, Navi's peeks the corner, gets his second of the round, and now aiming in, it's going to be the rest of Evil Geniuses that have to pick up the slack as they've lost their removable shield. More Yokai disorienting shots come down, but NVK will collect onto the flank of Bullet. There's one more flanker topside, leaving it as a 2v3 on the objective. NVK continues to put bodies in the grave on the flanks for Immortals. There's only 20 seconds left, though, for the site execute.
He cannot lose these gunfights right now, all except for Navi's been showing up these last couple of rounds. Only 15 seconds left. They've got to make magic happen. It's all left up to Geo and a very, very hurt Young. Frag grenade gonna go out. Finally, Young will meet his maker, but Geo will find Navi's. Been doing so very well so far, and he's gonna collect PX. It's all left up to M-King and Geo for the respective teams, and M-King will bring it in home for Immortals.
That was a 4K on the round for Navi's, almost getting the ace, but King just had to tag in for a little bit of an assist at the end. Again, it's superstar individual performance that seems to be the dictation of whether or not Immortals can win a round. And you really don't want that to be the case, but at least they're sharing the wealth right now. It was Bullet to start things off with that ace. It's a 4K now from Navi's. We've had King have a couple big moments as well. Whenever the team,
oh man,
nice shot there from NVK as he saw the punch hole up against that left wall, and the second one comes diving in. Cyber also. It's again this roam right now from Immortals that is just not working out. Evil Genius is picking that apart. Whether they have the Jackal, whether they have the Nomad, they haven't even brought a Nomad yet. They've only flexed to bring it and then 6 picked off. They will actually bring a Nomad finally in the last attacking round, unless we go into overtime. And that's NVK bringing it as well, who's been dismantling the roam from Immortals like it's nothing. The good news is for Immortals as well is that you haven't had to go to a weird site yet, because you've been losing your defenses pretty handedly. And the ones you do when you're at least available, they're not back-to-back. You can go back to a different site that is advantageous to yourself as well, as they just win their basement defense, and now they'll head upstairs to try and level things at 3 at the half, which honestly, after the way this game started with 2 very convincing rounds for Evil Geniuses, would be a good response heading into the half.
It truly would be. Just to look ahead a little bit, Evil Geniuses having trouble in that last round with the roam game, and our next map is a map that favors that heavily. So, they more than likely want to get this figured out now. How do they counter that? Because right now, Evil Geniuses stalling quite a bit initially until they figure out what they want to do. Last time, tried to commit down big tower stairs, didn't work out for him too well. And sadly, NVK tried his best to clear across meeting, but eventually lost his life as well. They tried to lean on Geo, which, I mean, who wouldn't? The guy has the highest KD inside of North America at 1.49, but didn't really work out for him.
Incredible aggression being put on display here from Immortals, and it's just not working out. They sacrifice both Cyber and King for the life of NVK. Nathan Valenti will gladly sit on the sidelines as Geo again dismantling Navi's, and it's all going downhill for Immortals. They try to stack the tower, they try to vault out of the tower, they try to explode out of the tower and refuse Evil Genius's entry, but instead, it results in pure pandemonium and extreme loss on the side of the Brazilians. So now the North American squad of Evil Geniuses in the driver's seat with almost 2 minutes remaining.
I respect Immortals trying to stay with their playstyle, that extremely aggressive playstyle that has worked out so well for them. But we have one of those inside of NA now. It's going to be Rack, and EG has been playing against them all season long. So they're used to this kind of playstyle now, at least in a comparable sense. So, as we are on round number 6 here, Immortals very, very damaged.
Yeah, Gia now busting into the showers hallway. Still at the midway point in the round, and it's all EG in this one. It would be a remarkable shock if Immortals were able to take this one back, but they're playing in some rather odd positions as my voice decides to hit an octave I haven't heard in 10 years. You've got Canadians spraying in through the back of the mattress, and unable to collect any of the shots onto PX. Still standing at 100 HP will be the smoke that rotates all the way into the hallway. Pings come out from the drones. He's going to continue to back off as the intel unlimited for Evil Geniuses as they try to descend down. That's a run out. PX is going to take down Canadian off the window rappel and dart all the way back in, but now he's been downed off. At the bottom of White Stairs, Geo pushing up, just missing the timing on him, but Young will finally collect the down PX. At the top of White Stairs, Bullet twisting in a 1v3 will have to be the saving grace for Immortals. So this is going to be a 4-2 at the split. Still has to worry about Geo coming up his White Stairs in behind him, and now Bullet angling in. He hears the barbed wire rattling, but cannot connect, and Young on a pixel angle from highway window will be able to collect that kill.
Evil Geniuses looking so very good on that offensive half there. I think the biggest deal for them is slow and steady wins the race. Nothing too crazy, nothing too quick, but Immortals tried that and it didn't work out for them too well, especially on that last round. Feels like they're throwing everything but the kitchen sink out the windows, and EG was ready for it, to say the least. Now we will be going to the rotation parameter here. So we will have EG on defense and Immortals on offense.
Swapping sides, 4-2 at the half, and again, attempted vault there from Cyber, and Cyber was trying to make a lot of big plays. You saw him get caught at, this shot from Geo as well. But Cyber, honestly, He's been trying to make a lot of big plays, a lot of flashy plays, a lot of, honestly, astronomical plays on just the amount of risk that's involved and the amount of reward that could come back. And he hasn't been able to pull them off, not in any instance. And that's really been detrimental to Immortals. There's this three-headed monster, really, of Bullet, Cyber, and Navi's on Immortals. When that trio is rolling, God help you. But when one starts to trail off a little bit, the others have to pick up the slack. And we've seen that from Bullet, we've seen that from Navi's, but it's not enough. Evil Geniuses are too strong of a team to not be on point right now for Cyber. So switching to the attacking side, I imagine we really are going to see Cyber calm it down a little bit. Try and play a little bit safer and stay alive and help the rest of the team, because when he is alive, he's an invaluable tool to the Immortals attack.
Well, you say that, but the man is on Ash, and we've seen a lot of crazy things, especially when they do have that R4C in hand now, because you don't have the cog to play those long-distance gunfights. You're going to see some very aggressive play styles here by the Ashes now that use the R4C. So, once again, Evil Genius is going to be on the defense, and actually a very, very crazy thing that I do want to point out is Bullet had an ace, but he doesn't have the most kills in the game right now. It's actually Young. Young has the most kills. He has 8 of them. That is the beauty of a good support. The man isn't very flashy. He isn't very clean, but you can weigh on him when you need to.
That's the thing. He's been one of the top performing members of Evil Geniuses at almost every LAN that Evil Geniuses have partaken in. We've got a Claymore inside of the drone hole coming out of Kitchen, as the drone will also utilize that drone hole for some information. That was Cyber on the Ash looking to press in against Canadian the Jaeger. I wonder how long Canadian will stick on the Jaegers. He's gone for a rotation all the way up towards the attic. He's busting open the highway. There we go. Now he's in the attic. He's heading right towards that rotate hole and then peeled off. Navi's on the Maverick as well. We'll try to start to work away at this main lobby hatch as they try to push down. It is a basement defense after all. You got to work towards that front lobby push as Immortals seemingly not attempting to go for a back push here. And we've been seeing a lot of tower takes today, not just in this game on Oregon, but on a majority of the Oregon rounds so far today. And that's going to be a lot of shots taken up through the hatch, through those Mav holes from NVK. But mimicking a little bit of the style that we were seeing earlier on from Evil Geniuses, Immortals will also be taking a Montaigne.
Montaigne, once again, you can literally just apply pressure. That's it. You can literally just stand there and stare at people, and pressure is applied. That's all you have to do. Don't have to re-click your button, put your shield back up. You have to do anything at all. Maybe toss some smoke grenades, get that diffuser down. That's more than likely going to be the plan for Immortals. It worked earlier for Evil Geniuses. We'll see if it works out for the boys in Aqua Green, as execution should start going down any minute here. They're trying to burn the ADSs so they can get smokes deeper into sight, and that's going to allow them to see deeper as well. If somebody breaks that smoke barrier, Immortals is going to have the upper hand.
We got to worry about this bulletproof camera in the back of the laundry closet, and this is obviously a mimic of what a mirror could be. But mirror obviously banned out, so you have the availability to see through smokes. Canadian's going to get overhealed and go for the vault, and there's no Claymore. Oh, you got shots coming up through the floorboards, but they won't land on a Canadian, so you have to be worried about a flank from the back. You got smokes coming in, and I'm sure there's a member of Evil Geniuses trying to call for Young as he tries to smoke out. The plant going down right on his wall, but Navi's will fall. Smoke right up against his wall now on the reinforcement. He's got to push down. A Nitro Cell takes down 2, and now pushing down on the flank. Bullet will fall. It's all Cyber alone. It's just an onslaught of kills through the wall. Cyber, a beautiful reactionary shot, but 2 seconds left on the board. There's no time. NVK shuts it down. Evil Genius is extending the commanding lead they already had in their possession. It's a 5-2 lead on Oregon, looking to walk this thing home.
Okay, I can say it now.
What?
This is the best Evil Geniuses I've seen on LAN in quite a while. The 6 Invitational, they looked pretty good, but they still had quite a few slip-ups. I feel like there were still some communication errors. This Evil Genius is right here, making smart adjustments, not giving up their lives too early, especially on defense. They had a very, very troublesome run with that at SI, especially against Reciprocity. They were getting picked off so early on their defensive sets. This time around, it's not the case.
That's a very fair point to make. Evil Geniuses looking in commanding lead right now in the driver's seat, and it shows. NVK now on that round has taken over control of the lead for kills in the lobby right now at 9. So we're having a bit of a back and forth contest as far as who's going to be leading the kills. But in the meantime, Immortals are going to take a tack timeout, and that's obviously needed right about now. One more round on the side of VG, and it's match point on map number 1. We've seen a lot of Oregons already today. This is our 3rd Oregon map we've seen today out of 7 maps now. And they've all gone very one-sided so far.
Yes, they have. Canadian get a hand over the reins of Jaeger. Sir, turn in your 416 and your very nice plain hat, and MVK is going to put that on and see if he can continue to rock these kills. Canadian realizing now that he kind of just wants to play utility and play that as well as he can. Currently it's sitting at 2 and 6. MVK with the hot hand. You want to give him the best gun you can. That's what they're going to do. So we'll see if they can continue down this reign. It's Young, MVK, and Geo for the top fraggers. 9, 8, and 7 respectively to all of those players.
So obviously, first round of the defense, it's a downstairs defense for Evil Geniuses. They win. Where do we go? We go upstairs. That's Oregon.
Oh, you don't say.
That's kind of how she goes, yep.
Very peculiar, yes. Never would have guessed. Probably would have lost that bet.
So we are wrapping up the TAC timeout now. We're getting back into the game, and Geo will be playing on the castle. And like you said, a swapping up for NVK and Canadian. It'll be Canadian now on the mute, and VK rethinking his ADSs about where he wanted to place that in between the windows. That is a very common spot. Also, no frag grenades being brought by Immortals, and with the Capitao banned out, if Necrox were to play as the smoke that is typical inside of kids in between those windows, he wouldn't really have a lot to worry about. There's not really any lethality at range here.
The only real thing he's going to save is if Cyber tries to establish a new line of sight with one of those breaching charges, or if M-King, for some odd reason, is going to try and go through a window, which should not happen. And if it does, I'm going to be at a loss for words. But you'd more than likely see him toss some smoke grenades. We're in La La Land talking about this right now, because you're not going to see a Montang repel and try and swing a window. It's not going to happen.
I would hope not. So it really comes down to where these Evil Eyes are going to be placed. This is pretty typical on top of the bunk bed frame. It is a metal frame, so you don't have to worry about that. The other one, I guess, could be faced inside of Generator towards Gen Wall. That's actually all the way up by the Armory window, by Satellite window. So you've got visibility towards the Armory stairs and the rest of the Armory hallway, and then in. So you've got actually a lack of visibility right now in towards Generator. In the meantime, NVK is taking about 25 damage in the process of either prep phase or an aggressive angle towards the beginning of the round. You've got some X-Kairos coming out from PX now. He's got the assimilation of Immortal members coming in from the west side over to the east as they look to clear out any roamers playing down inside of Kitchen. The real question will be if Immortals want to use the rest of those X-Kairos to push in towards a master take, or if we're going to be seeing more Kids Windows takes as we've been seeing all day long. Traditionally
with this site, you are going to start on big tower, but Immortals isn't exactly a regular team. They're going to go small tower and try and take across. We said earlier, now more than likely going to see M-King try and hop a window because you have to lower your shield to do so. People can shoot you in your feet. And granted, yes, you are a 3 armor, but bullets still hurt. Quite a lot, actually. And you don't exactly want your Montang on very low health, especially with Necrox on smoke.
It doesn't seem like Evil Geniuses are really panicking at all at the presence of M-King at the big window. Obviously a giant target to shoot at and dump utility at, but yet Evil Geniuses not really in any distress right now. The drone's coming in, and it looks like this might actually be the entirety of the strategy, is just vault in through big window. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, as you've got Navi's taking a lot of damage on the big window repel as well, down to just a hair above 50. This is stalling out here rather swiftly for Immortals. Not a lot of progress. 5 members alive on the other side as there's 60 seconds remaining. I'm just waiting for M-King to drop the shield and go turning in through the big window.
I really don't have the answer there for you, Flynn, but I can tell you that we're under a minute left, and it's 5v5 still, which, traditionally speaking, as we heard earlier from our good friend Intero, usually turns into a Hell in a Cell match, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Geo's going to start things off as Bullet will go down. Everyone's going to have to try and just jump through the window as it's all orange in the kill feed. Finally, PX will answer back, but Canadian will find him. It's all left up to Cyber coming up the main stairs, and I don't think he's got an answer for this. We'll see exactly what he can answer with. Flick's going out, but I don't think he's going to have too much to answer with at R4C by his side. Has to whip out the pistol. He's going to find Young. Can he possibly find Canadian playing inside of Kids? Oh my God, he's going to. It's all left up to Geo. Cyber, the absolute prophet, but no, Geo finally will find him and shut him down. Very scary round there for Evil Geniuses as it almost slipped away.
Cyber, again, like I said,
does Cyber things. I mean, that's the only way to really put it. My God, man.
Cyber, a very useful member for Immortals when alive. The problem is that the rest of his team decided to bail in through the big window, and that's That didn't work. It didn't work.
They died a lot.
A for effort, but didn't exactly work. And that's kind of where the lacking of strategy seemingly is coming from across the board for Immortals. In this game, it seems like the strategy for the entirety of Immortals has been who's going to be our solo player, who's going to dominate at every turn in a solo aspect. It's not a team game right now for Immortals, and that's rather surprising considering the cohesion they typically have during the online season. And all 14 playdays that we witnessed for them, they looked really cohesive. They looked like they were working together as one unit. In this specific match, in this specific map, right now, they look lost and they look like they're not working together as a team. It looks like everyone is trying to make an all-star play. And then you finally have pieces come together to try and like build a framework of a strategy as a team there, and the strategy ends up being jump into the big window.
You're at a Pro League final, and
it just seems like there should be more development to it throughout the rest of the map. We talk about map control a lot, and they didn't really have a lot of it there. Clearly a downside to the strategy, as Evil Geniuses had everything except for the site surrounding the big window, and that was it.
Especially on a map you picked. How do you not know how to attack kids properly? You know, speaking of the devil, I mean, we talked about it earlier. You don't want to take from small tower. It's just not that good of an idea. You can't really establish lines of sight. You really only got big window, and you can try and take it down on white, which they got that line of sight established, but really just didn't work out for them because Evil Geniuses just gave them no line.
I mean, that's one reaction. Navi's going to set an air jab out on the big tower window. That's at a T2 just to make sure that nobody's going to go for a vault, but Cyber's made it all the way into the objective inside of T1. And NVK will set him to rest immediately. Another one for Young now as it's just a full send for Immortals into the objective, and Young cuts them down one by one. Every single bolt in the magazine connecting onto a head of a member of Immortals. And now it's Bullet and PX to work out of this. The Finka boost coming in well late of the intended timing. PX will have to rotate over with diffuser in hand. You still haven't cleared out kids as there's pressure from the back. And now, peeking up and over the edge of the window cell, and PX taking shots from this backside, but still not reacting to it. This is a troublesome scenario for Immortals to work out of as they've seemingly surrendered Oregon in its entirety. One Echo drone will be surrendered in the process of trying to disorient Bullet and take away the availability of the blast of the Finka to overheal, but at this Immortals, they don't have an entry into the building.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, but Jack fell down. Immortals rocking a hard place right now. I mean, especially on that round where we saw Cyber try and just full send with the Ash, claimed a lot of lives, but didn't end up winning that round. Now we need that ×2. We need Bullet and PX to find some sort of cohesion, to work together, to find either 5 people or get this diffuser down. As they do just twist in the wind currently, and the timer continues to tick down, I mean, that's really why you don't want to just try for the full send, especially when you've already done it so many times. Evil Geniuses knows what you're going to try and do in that instance. Try and play it out a little bit longer, try and play it out a little bit longer, try and get some more information in your pocket and do something with it.
At the moment, it looks like Immortals don't have an answer, and they have yet to make it inside the building after that initial incursion into the objective. Gio's punching open the garage rear door to try and take aim in towards PX or Bullet repelled on these windows in the big tower, but no one really able to connect. This is an aggressive run out here from NVK, but he's on 5 HP, so he really does have the availability to sacrifice himself should he want to go for an over-aggressive run towards the backside. There's very limited time remaining, and PX still can't land a bullet onto NVK, playing the peek angle at the bottom of the tower's door. Now laying prone underneath the T3 window on the north side is Canadian, just waiting, but Necrox will hit the run anyway. There goes Bullet, repelling it in absolute desperation. PX shut down. Evil Geniuses take map #1.
And in excellent fashion. I mean, they really just let Immortals play their game, and they knew exactly how to counter it. Okay, you guys want to be aggressive? That's perfectly fine. We brought exactly what we want to deal with that. 7-2 the scoreline here on Oregon. We're going to be going into Coast, and it seems that EG currently has Immortals' number.
That was a dominant performance, yet it's another Oregon game that's incredibly one-sided, and it's the North American powerhouse that take map #1 against the second Latin American seed. The team that almost went undefeated until week 14. Again, Immortals did not lose a map until week 14, and now they've lost back-to-back maps in official matches. They lost in week 14 to FaZe, and now they've lost Oregon 7-2 at the hands of Evil Geniuses. So rolling in, we're looking towards map #2, which will be Coastline, and should we need it, Clubhouse will be the decider. At this point, we have many questions about whether or not we're going to get to a map 3 based on that performance, but we also said that about Oregon games where our first map was incredibly close. 8-7, 8-6 on the first maps on Bank, and then we head into an Oregon game that really doesn't tell the full story. I'm not really surprised. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see this head to a clubhouse eventually, but in that game, Immortals definitely need to take this time to reboot, recoup, and sort themselves out. But in the meantime, to figure out what went wrong in that game for Immortals and what went right for Evil Geniuses, we throw it to the desk with Kassan and the boys.